Hi everyone! Welcome to the Crafty Pixie channel where we do sewing projects and subscription boxes. I am B. Whether you are new or old to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. It is wonderful to have you. It really is. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you know when I upload every week. I try to upload every Wednesday, but that doesn't always work out. That's why the notification bell is so important. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, especially if you are a new subscriber. I would love to hear from you, and give the video a thumbs up. How's everybody doing today? Are we good? You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. It's hot today. It's been very hot today. I'm having a hard time today, so excuse the frizz and everything like that. It's hot. All right, so, well, as you can probably tell already, we've got September Sewers Club box. Yay! I love these boxes so much. I can't wait to see what's inside. It feels heavier and it's like more packed, like it's not flat. So I'm excited to see what's inside. All right, so I've got everything ready. Let's get going. All right, break into the box. Oh. It looks like we have two projects again for this box. We've got a gradient patchwork pillowcase and a diamond patchwork pillowcase. So it looks like we're gonna be quilting again. The gradient finishes approximately 17 inches by 17 inches, and the patchwork finishes approximately 18 inches by 18 inches. So these are the two projects, right? It's only one sheet of instructions for each. It's probably gonna take me a minute because there's a lot of pieces. So there's gonna be a lot of measuring and a lot of working things out. Okay, all right, let's see. Sorry, I know I'm not talking. Sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. This month we added 3 special bonuses for our members to enjoy. So this box every month is $31.99 US. There's 3 options. You can order monthly, every 3 months, or yearly. I do mine monthly, and then there's a little add-on notion that you can do for like I think $9 extra a month. But this, I cheated, I'm sorry. Alright, per this little note for September's box, it says that this is the project box for the box, and that this is one of the special bonuses. It's the alternate pattern that you can choose. All right, this one is more complicated. It consists of 64 individual squares. So this is for people who really, really love quilting. And just to let you know, if you have the box, this does not have a video. This one has the video. If you like go onto their website and you put the password in. So, all right. And then it looks like in the normal box, this is not an add-on. This is the Gypsy little gripper. So it grips your rulers, your like quilting rulers. Let's open it up and see. It's purple. Oh, look at that. Okay. It's literally a gripper. Pull it down to release. Pull it up to grip. Okay. The Gypsy little gripper. That's cute. I was actually just thinking about wanting to get something that grips the rulers when I'm doing the pattern, you know, when I'm like cutting out stuff, so that's cool. Okay. Look, they read my minds again. All right, let's see. We've got, of course, our Gutermann thread, which is doesn't give us a name for it. Oh, in white. Just plain white. Okay. Just plain white. And then, all right, so here is the first, looks like I got the one to do the blue, which I prefer blue to pink, so I'm okay with that. So here is the first fabric. Here is the second fabric. It's kind of like, it's got some gold in there and, all right. Oop. See, I'm trying to fold them again. Sorry. And then here's the third one. This one's really cool. This is very oceany. Yeah, oceany. So it's got another gold accent in it. And then here's our last one. It's a darker blue. Oop. And then our last piece is just white cotton fabric. Just plain white. I have 3 kids. White furniture doesn't stay white for very long. So I don't tend to have a lot of white in the house, and I'm not crazy about white anyway, so this is going to be, I'm interested to see how quickly this gets this gets dirty, I guess you could say. Let me get closer to the camera so you can kind of see the fabric a little bit better. I love seeing the fabric when I watch videos like this, so let me, okay. Those are the 2, or 4, 2, wow. It's been a long day. All right, so there's that. Let me see. All right, so that's it in the box. If you got the extra add-on, It is the duckbill applique scissors, and they're valued at $22.99. So that's a really good deal if you got the add-on for this month's box. So, all right, well, that's about it. I like they changed this a little bit. They actually told me what color variant that I would get in this month's box on this, so that's really cool. Before it was kind of just a surprise when you opened the box and you saw what you got. So, all right, that's about it. I'm going to read the directions and figure this out, and we'll get going. If I don't know about the diamond one, that's way more complicated. I'm not a quilter by any means, so I don't know how good my tutorial would be for it, but if you want to see a tutorial for the diamond patchwork pillowcase, by all means, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to give you a good video for it. So, that's about it. All right, without any further ado, let's get started. Before you guys cut out any of your fabric, if you got this month's subscription box, please read your email. There is a correction for the measurement for the large pattern piece E. It's just going to save you some time instead of cutting everything out and then having to correct it. All right, so just make sure you read that before you do anything. It went out to every subscriber who got this month's box. So for materials, you're going to need, of course, all of your pattern pieces. I labeled them to try to stay a little bit organized. Of course, you're going to need your pattern. You're going to need clips. I have a feeling I'm going to need a seam ripper. It's always good to have that on hand. It is also a good idea to have a stiletto. This is going to help you guide the smaller pieces of fabric through. You're going to need scissors, a ruler for measuring everything down to the appropriate size when we're done, the coordinating thread, an iron, and a sewing machine, and a little bit of time. So let's get started. So what we're pretty much going to do is we're going to use the pattern and start laying the pattern out. So I'm going to kind of lay it out right on the table and then take the pieces over to the sewing machine. It's just squares. We're not working with any we're not working with any triangles or anything like that, so this should be okay. As long as we don't overthink it too much. I overthink a lot, especially when I'm not familiar with something. So we are going to start laying out the pattern. Like it's showing in the pattern piece. And then I've labeled all of them what they're supposed to be labeled per the cutout instructions, so this should come together pretty easily. I'm gonna keep my letters handy. All right, so we're gonna we're just literally laying them out right now, so that all we have to do is pick up and go. This whole thing may not be in frame, but hopefully this is going to give you a better idea. You're literally following the diagram that's in the pattern. There's nothing like crazy about that. You don't even have to make it neat. Just make it so that you're familiar with what you're doing. Alright, that's the first few rows, and then just marking off the ones I've done so I don't confuse myself and take more time to try to figure things out. You guys kind of get to see how my brain works when I'm doing something like this. My fingers aren't working. There we go. So I'm literally just repeating a pattern, which is nice. And I am following exactly like the picture on the front of the pattern. So that it'll look exactly like it's supposed to. Voila. Okay, so now we have everything laid out. Just like it's going to be when we're finished. So now, what we're going to do, this is where your stiletto is going to come in handy if you have one. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up each row at a time. Okay, so we're going to start with this row. And we're going to pick it up. And with right sides together, we're going to line them up and clip into place. Like so. Now when you're doing this, you want to be careful that you're doing this in the correct order and that you're not stretching the fabric. Okay, so it was laying down like this, so I'm literally picking it up and pinning it to the other side. Lining up the raw edges. When you take this over to the sewing machine, just be careful you don't sew the other panels that don't belong there together. Okay? Now you're going to take, once you're done doing that, you're going to take these over to the sewing machine. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. You're going to take these over to the sewing machine, and with a scant 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to sew all of your clipped edges together. Okay? Now, what I mean by scant is you've got a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. You want to go just a little bit less than a 1/4 of an inch. That's going to try to ensure that all of your rows are the same. You don't want longer rows than the other because the seam allowance isn't straight. So just keep that in mind when you do that. So you literally just keep going down the line. Okay? So grab right sides together and pin into or clip into place. Don't know if I would necessarily pin these. I mean, I guess you could pin it, but you don't want to wrinkle anything and you don't want to stretch anything out. So just bear that in mind when you do this. Okay? Ooh. Take this one. Right sides together with the unclipped side. You're making long rows. Make sure that you are not paying attention. You got to pay attention when you clip these together so that you're clipping it correctly and you're sewing it correctly, because if you do that wrong, the whole design of this project is going to be off. So we're literally just copying just like that. Now you're going to continue this through the whole thing, take it over to the sewing machine, sew all of them, and then when we come back, I'll show you the next step. So I will be right back. That was tedious. For all of you watching that actually do quilting, I give you kudos, because that is crazy to me. Okay, so now everything is done. Now we are going to connect all of the pieces this way. So I've already done this one, lined it all up and everything like that. And then we're just going to continue to line things up. So with this one connecting to this one, you're going to connect it with these 3 panels. So you're going to leave these 2 on the edge alone. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to push your seams one way or another so that your seams will cradle together. Okay, so if we look at this one, because we're going to be clipping it together. Hold on. 3 panels to the 3 panels, leaving the 2 alone. So I already have these 2 seams going out. So I'm going to make these 2 seams go in so that they sandwich together when we clip them together and sew them. So it might be a little hard for you to see, but you're literally sandwiching the seams together like that. Okay? Make sure your raw edges are aligned. This is going to help you stay even when you make your stitches. Okay? Just like that. And then you're going to do it to the other one. Fold them like they already were. Just like that. And you're going to keep going. And then when you get over here, pick which side, pick which side you want this seam to go on, and then fold it that way. So, clipped it funny. There we go. So just line up that seam and clip there. Now you're going to do this with all of your strips that you just did, making it as squared as possible. I'm trying to see what I'm doing while I'm talking to you, I'm sorry. Okay, so there's that. We're just laying them out like that, and you're going to continue all the way down. Now you can do it in sections, so you can do these 3 and then these 3 and then these 3 and then just combine the 2 together or the 3 together. That's perfectly fine. You can definitely do that. That's not a problem. Just make sure you're careful with your seam allowances and you're doing your stitch at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance when you sew the rows together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, finish all this and sew it all together, and then once I'm done, we'll continue. Everything is sewn together. Okay, that took me a little bit. I'm sure if I did this a lot, it wouldn't have taken me so long. But I went ahead and gave the stitches on the back a nice press so that everything laid flat in one direction or the other. And then I flipped it over and ironed the front as well. So this is technically what the front of your pillow is going to look like when you're done. This next step, I'm a little worried about. So I am going to flip this so that it is wrong side up. And I've got some tailor's chalk. You don't have to use tailor's chalk. You can use an error erasing marking tool. That's not a problem, but you're going to take your ruler and you are going to measure the measurement in the pattern. Starting up here, you're going to measure across, you're going to measure down, and then you're going to measure across the bottom. I am going to mark all of this out because I'm really worried that I'm going to cut it wrong and I'm going to ruin the whole thing. And you know, in all reality, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to, but it's still nerve-wracking. So unfortunately, if I show you how I'm going to mark this, then you're going to see the size of everything from the ruler, and I can't do that. So I am going to mark everything out with my tailor's chalk, and then I am going to cut it with my rotary cutter and everything, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'll be right back. This is what you're looking at after you measure and cut it. It came out okay. I didn't have to redo anything or anything like that, so I'm really excited about that. So right now you can place this to the side. And then you're going to grab the other two pieces of the E fabric, and on the long side of the fabric, on one side of each, you are going to fold up 1/4 inch, press, fold up another 1/4 inch, press on both of them. This gives you the rolled hem that they are looking for. That's really boring, that's why I didn't film it. And then we're going to take this over to the sewing machine, and you are going to top stitch right along. You want to get close to this edge without going over or too far in. You want to just do right across, okay? And you want to do a top stitch. Make sure you back stitch at the beginning and at the end. You're going to do it for both. I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. With the top stitching done on your back panels, you're now going to lay your front panel right side up, and you're going to lay your back panels right side down. If you have one panel that looks better than the other, that one should definitely be on the top of your pillow. Okay, so this one is going to be on the bottom, so we're going to lay it down. We're going to align it all 3 edges. Okay, if you're a little bit off, it's okay, because you're going to be either serging the raw edges or zigzag stitching it so that they don't fall apart. And then you're going to take your other one, so now you've got your hem right here, and that's on the wrong side, so that's facing up. So now you're going to take your other panel and place that right side down, right on top, aligning your top and side edges. Okay, now you've got that overlap here, which is you're supposed to. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. So now we're going to take some clips, and we're going to clip all around the side. All 4 sides. You don't have to worry about leaving an opening or anything like that, because we're going to pull it through the opening here. I'm going to clip where my hemmed edges are on the sides so that I know where they are when we are sewing. I am going to backstitch over them so that they are reinforced really well, because you're going to be pulling pillows in and out of this and you want to make sure there's no issues. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, and with 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to sew all 4 edges. Make sure you backstitch at the beginning and at the end, and like I said, I'm going to backstitch over the hemmed areas just so that there's a little bit of extra reinforcement there. When you are done, you can go ahead and either serge the edges so that it seals them and stops them from fraying, or you can zigzag stitch them if you don't have a serger. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. All right, I went ahead and zigzag stitched all of the raw edges and then turned it right side out and gave it a good press. And this is what you're looking at when you are done. This is beautiful. That was a lot of work, but I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. I don't have a pillow to put inside. I don't have one that's the right size. So for next week's video, I will hopefully have a pillow the right size for you, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like on the pillow. But here it is. Again, if you would like to see a tutorial on the other pattern that was in the box, leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, see ya!